So here's a second problem on solving multi-step equations with fractions. A second example. Couple of skills you're going to need to reinforce here in the coming days and weeks. First of all, converting mixed numbers to improper fractions. Adding and subtracting fractions, finding a common denominator. That's always step one before you can add and subtract fractions. Seems like you guys get multiplying fractions, but dividing fractions, the whole skip, flip, multiply rule as an abbreviated rule is something that we'll need to work on. And then when we get to a final stage, kind of cross-canceling out some things in our answer so that you can simplify your answer pretty quickly. All right, so again, the goal, isolate the term that has the variable in it, and then isolate the variable. So let's take a look at what we have here. Can we clean up one side? Well, I can see on the right side of the equation, I've got negative 1/5 m and 2 3/5 m. So let's start by making this into an improper fraction. So who can do that? What is 2 3/5 as an improper fraction? Clayton?
13. Oh wait, no. Yeah.
13 what?
13 over 5.
13/5, right. So this is positive 13/5 m. So we're going to have m minus 3.5 equals, we have negative 1/5 plus 13/5. What do you think? Kyriakos?
Negative 1/5 plus 13/5 would be 12/5.
12/5 m minus, and let's change 4 2/3. In fact, let's change all of our mixed numbers into improper fractions. We have 2 times 3 plus 1 is what?
7 halves.
So we have 7 halves. And what do we have over here?
We have like 14.
Sean, what do we have?
We have 28/6. Wait, no. That's 12. 14/3.
14/3.
That would-
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and write, instead of there being a 1 here, I'm going to go ahead and write 5/5. Right? Doesn't change anything. It means 1. Now, because this number is greater than this number, this coefficient is greater than this one, I'm going to subtract 5/5 m from both sides. That's going to give me a nice positive coefficient for my variable term. So we're going to have negative 7 halves equals 12/5 minus 5/5. Anybody? All right. 7/5 m minus 14/3. What's the next step we're going to do? One of my Jadens, what are we going to do next? Which one? Good, Jaden B, go ahead. What are we going to do next?
You add 14/3,
Right, we're going to add 14/3 to where?
both sides.
Both sides. So now we're going to come over here and say, well, what's negative 7 halves plus 14/3? We need a common denominator. Common denominator here is going to be 6. 3 times 2 is 6. 14 times 2 is 28. 2 times 3 is 6. 7 times 3 is, so it'd be negative 21. Negative 21 plus 28 sixths. Adding a positive and a negative number. Find the difference of the absolute values and apply the stronger sign. What would that give us?
That would give us positive 7/6.
Positive 7/6. So now we have 7/6 equals 7/5 m. Divide both sides by what, Ava? Divide both sides by 7/5. And we're going to have, bring it over here, m is going to be equal to 7/6 divided by 7/5. And then we know when we divide fractions, skip, flip, multiply. So that's going to be 7/6 times 5/7. And look at that, those 7s cancel out nicely. We'll just put 1s there, and our answer should be 5/6.
Stop. I'm putting a negative.